All right, so I guess we're about to get started. So I guess I'll start, and then you guys can just go ahead and introduce yourselves. I have the PowerPoint up right now, so we should be good to go.
Yeah, I don't see it.
I pinned it, so you guys can pull it up. If you want to pull it up real quick.
I just
So,
found it.
Hugo.
I think I need to download it. Yeah.
Yeah, it takes like 10 seconds. I'm good whenever.
All right, while Hugo's downloaded, I'll go ahead and start. All right. What is going on, guys? Panther here with a special edition this week. So we wanted to surprise you guys, and when I say we, I mean Joqq and Hugo and I. I wanted to surprise you guys with the APA Week 2 Power Rankings. So let's go ahead and take a look at this slide right here in front of us, and then we'll get to introductions here. So these are the Week 2 Power Rankings. This is not just considering Week 1. We are taking all Week 2 battles in consideration up until this point, which is all the battles except for Joqq and Zebo. And most importantly, don't ask us for these every week. This is going to be random. This is going to be periodic, but we just wanted to throw these out just to have fun and have a good time. So with me, I have Joqq and I have Hugo.
What's going on?
Hi.
So the first person that spoke there was Joqq. The hi was Hugo. They're going to be much more elaborate in this little video here. So let's go ahead and jump on into this, guys. So actually, my God, a helicopter just landed by somebody's house. I'm not sure which one of you guys it was.
It wasn't mine, but it wasn't an helicopter.
Sounded like one.
I'm gonna close my window. Be right back.
Alright. Well, maybe you should start on number 20 then, Panther.
Yeah, we can go ahead and start here. So we'll go ahead and jump in. So before we do, how do you think the season is going so far, guys, with Ubers in the league?
I'm a bit disappointed.
Well, I'm sure we'll get to the reason why you're disappointed here in a second. But let's go ahead and jump into it, guys. So with number 20, also before we get any further, guys, can one of you guys pull up the standings? That way we can just talk about where each team is at. I remember most of them, but perfect. All right, so with number 20 up on our screen right now, you already see it. It's Mad Archer and the Tennessee Trevenants. So week 1 he did play Hugo, and he ended up losing that match 6-0. And then followed up with his week 2 match, losing 0-3 to the Polish Elf and the Soviet Slow Kings. So Hugo, why don't you talk about that match a little bit, since you actually did play in week 1.
Yeah, so week 1 he didn't ring much for me at Gengar, so I just trapped his Tangrowth, and then Metagross cleaned his team.
Yeah, I mean, Metagross really put in a lot of work that match. I think it picked up 4 kills.
Yeah, 4 kills.
Yeah, and you being able to trap Tangrowth like that, really was important, because I don't think you brought any shed shells to that match.
No, he didn't.
When facing a Mega Gengar. So
yeah, I was surprised.
Yeah, definitely. I do think the prep could have been a little bit better there on his part. Definitely not up to Archer's normal standards. Archer's definitely a competitive battler here, and he definitely can compete. Just has not shown that as of yet this season. So I guess we'll go ahead and jump into number 19 here, guys. So we followed up Matt Archer and the Tennessee Trevenants next with number 19, Carson and the Arizona Diamond Storm. Joqq, you want to take this one?
Yeah, well, Carson's 0-2 -8, and so he had a very tough game against you, and I think it was Mighty Kiss. Mighty Kiss has had a good start to the season, but it just kind of feels like Carson's prep's been kind of off. Like even against you, he was able to keep quite a lot of momentum, but his prep seemed to let him down quite a lot. Like he never seemed to be really, like he had nothing for Zapdos. Like, and it never felt like Deoxyclean does what Deoxyclean does best, but it never felt ready enough for the battles when go type.
Yeah.
Anyone else got anything to say about it? Or?
Yeah, you kind of broke up there just a little bit at the end, but I completely agree. Definitely against definitely week 2 against my team, he seemed like he was in control the first 20 turns or so. I'd say he had some really good prep. with the Mega Mewtwo for the Alolan Muck with the
Cool.
Will-O-Wisp and the Earthquake.
Yeah.
Really did shut it down. And he was really making some bold plays there, but then he kind of lost momentum just because you were right. He didn't have anything for Zapdos, and Zapdos was able to roost stall out his entire team and just really take it on well. I don't think my Mega Lucario touched the field once, and then also he didn't really have anything for Tyrantrum either. And then in week one, basically sacking his Swellow to the Deoxys attack for no reason, sending it out trying to revenge it. I guess it was Scarf or something like that, or maybe it was Quick Attack set and then it going down to the E speed. So just some mental lapses there from Carson. Carson's definitely a lot better than what he's played this season, kind of like Archer. But at the end of the day, he is 0-2 currently, -8. Is that correct?
-8, yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully he bounces well. Not trying to be biased or anything at all, but he definitely has playing Chewy this week. Definitely hope he really plays up to his potential. So anyway, we'll go ahead and jump into number 18 here. We have Kyle and the Montreal 2 Canadians. Hugo, you're Canadian. Why don't you talk a little bit about Kyle?
Let's see. So he was against Chewy week 1, I think.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And week 2 he was against
Bear.
Siberia. So he lost 2-0 to Chewy. I don't think his prep was really good.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that there.
Yeah, he didn't have a lot for Chewy's offense.
Yeah, he didn't really have much for the Lugia outside the Continental Crush, if I remember correctly, on Entei. And then really difficult match for him week 2. Almost getting sick. Well, I say almost. It ended up being a 1-0.
Yeah, it was a 1-0.
Should have been a 6-0, like Joqq said, in that
But
match.
he didn't have any switching to Marshadow.
Yeah, and I believe he did predict the close combat there with Marshadow when he switched his type.
Yeah, so he practiced the Pulele.
Yeah, but
Which I think is a bit of a misplay because he didn't need to close combat to kill it, so there was no reason to drop his defenses. Shadow Claw was always well. You would have expected Spectral Thief, but
right, exactly. You definitely would have expected Spectral Thief there on Sarah's part, but Scoldopede about brought it back for him. So he definitely got it together and started playing a little bit better towards the end of the match. But a tough start for a previous championship contender. He hasn't been in the season or been in the league since season 4. I think he's been out of Pokemon since then. Really, just kind of refreshing and wait until Sun and Moon dropped. But he is back. He is getting things back together. But I know for a fact Kyle's a really good battler. So I definitely don't expect him to be at number 18 for long. So at number 17, we have Elite Four Tom in his first league season ever and the Gyarados Giants here. So, guys, who did he play week 1? Oh, he played you, Joqq.
myself.
That's right.
Yes,
That's right.
Joqq.
But I think even though Tom's 0-2, we put him the best of the 0-2 players because Tom's yet to make a misplay this season. He's just been so unlucky. Like, I think I crit him 5 times maybe, on top of freezing him. And like he still played well against me. He made like good doubles and whatnot. And then even against Mighty Kiss, he never made a single misplay whatsoever. Played the game well, and again he just got hacked really hard. So he's not even had a chance to show if he's a good player or not because the game has really abused him.
Yeah, it's definitely has not been friendly to Tom so far here in the APA this season. Week 1, all those crits. Don't know if all of them really mattered or anything like that. And I don't really know if it really changed the outcome of the game at the end playing Joqq, but definitely against Mighticus last week, losing 6-0 to that Cloyster that was able to shell smash up twice on Red Steel getting paralyzed 2 times was definitely pretty huge. So Tom's down here at 17. 0-2. Let's see, -9.
Mine's 10.
-10. Ouch. But he definitely has the opportunity to bounce back. I'm not. Oh, actually, I am sure who he played. He does play me next week, so he definitely has the opportunity to bounce back then. So number 16, we have here the Bellevue Fart Fetch. We have Chewy, who is 1-1 this season, so off to a pretty good start here, beating Kyle week 1 in a really good match, and then losing to who did
Dan.
Dan
Elite Four Dan. That's right. That's right. The Stall Fest last week. So Hugo, you want to talk a little bit about that one?
versus Dan or Kyle?
Let's. We've already talked a little bit about Kyle's game. Let's talk about Dan's game a little bit.
Let me. Oh yeah, that was the stall battle.
Yeah, that's where they kept wishing back and forth with Blissey and Florges getting into a pretty big stall fest.
Until Chewie sacked his Lugia.
Yes, he did. He did sack his Lugia there to the floor. Just it was actually a pretty good set. If you wouldn't have gotten the toxic off on it, if Dan wouldn't have got that toxic off on it, it would have probably been a different story. Lugia probably would have been able to stall out completely the rest of Dan's team. But with
Yeah, it was Carmine.
yeah, it was. And I don't know if I had a lot for Bronzong. Bronzong probably could have got the toxic off on it as well. But like I said, it ended up being a pretty good match. It was a really cool set for him to bring, using Lugia more offensively than defensively. So it's really interesting to see, and definitely excited to see what he can bring to the table in week 3 against Carson. All right, so number 15, we have Sarah Bear and the Juliet Lycanrocks. So week 1, she played Zebo. I ended up losing that game 5-0, really to Dublade. And I guess that really would have been a 6-0 if it wasn't for the hacks on Dublade, correct?
Yeah, her team didn't have a lot for Doublade.
Yeah,
And not
It had a
bringing
great matchup.
Marshadow was arguably her biggest downfall because Marshadow had such a fantastic matchup.
yeah, it really
Like
did.
Marshadow literally two-hit KO'd Zebo's entire defensive core,
Yeah, no, it
and for some
really
reason she
did.
never brought it.
Yeah, it was definitely strange for her not to bring that. Absolutely for sure. Like a banded or life orbed Marshadow really just put in
Yeah,
a lot of work against Zebo's team.
Marshadow had a great matchup.
Life Orb with like the HPIs for Gliscor, Life Orb close combat 2-hit KOs, fully defensive Yveltal, and I'm pretty sure Spectral Thief probably 2-hit KOs of the blade.
Oh, I'm
And
sure it
that was the
does.
defensive core. That was the defensive core she struggled with.
Spectral Thief may have even carried the Dublade into a Shadow Sneak on Switch.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Marshadow is just such a good Pokemon. Somebody I considered drafting before I ended up having the opportunity to pick up Mega Lucario. And then she's got a really good team with Kyurem, and then with
Mega Beedrill.
Mega Beedrill. I know she had one more huge offensive threat. I just couldn't remember off the top
But
of my head.
she also did
And she
pick up
brought a
that one
cool.
against Kyle, but she had that horrible mental lapse where she has arguably the best Scolipede counter in the game in Marshadow and decided to sack her entire team before using it.
That is very true. She did have that pretty big mental lapse. So she definitely should have 6-0'd Kyle. It was actually really good prep there on her part. We got the sticky webs up and everything. She uses Ditto fairly well. I know she really likes to draft Ditto and Scizor and Crobat and Kyurem. It's kind of like Carson and his Cresselia. So she's really experienced with it. But I guess we'll see what she can do this week against Dan. On to number 14, we have Silver Smasher and the Florida Typhlosion. So, Hugo, let's let you talk a little bit about Silver and y'all's match last week.
Week 1.
Week 2.
It's me, and I didn't have anything for Kyogre, so yeah, that's it.
Yes, Kyogre absolutely just mowed through your team last week. Now, Silver did lose week 1 against Banded Caterpie
Sorry.
and Moxie Mints. Yeah, he didn't really have much for the Moxie Salamence. Now it was weird him bringing Swampert, but not bringing enough speed on it to outspeed the Salamence. That I found that to be really strange. It ended up costing him that game. Definitely ended up costing him that game. But Kyogre, as it proved last week, picking up 5 kills. Such a busted Pokemon, just being able to come in and click Water Spout.
And he also had Scarf Jirachi with Healing Wish in the back.
That is also true. That is also true. I know you tried to trap it and Destiny Bond it
Yeah,
with
but
the Gengar. You had to use the majority of your team, like the Keldeo and stuff like that, just to try to stop the Kyogre. I know even in our prep battle, it just really mowed through you. So definitely, if you end up having to play Silver again, be sure to pick up that Kyurem counter in free agency.
yeah, definitely.
All right, on to number 13 in the Winnipeg Blue Blastoise. Go ahead, Joqq. Talk a little bit about Kurt.
We have Kurt, who's 1-1 -1. Who did he lose to week 1?
Oh gosh, week 1.
God, let me check
Noah.
this. Oh yeah, Noah. Though, well, I think the score, although the scoreline was quite close, I think it was a 2-0. Noah kind of made a mockery of Kurt. Like, Noah was really just 2 steps ahead the whole time. Like, knew everything Kurt was going to do. And then in week 2, Tar Heel basically had like a 3-0 or a 4-0 nice and wrapped up until Kurt crit him and swept him with defensive Mew.
Yeah, it was a 4-0, and then on that Dawn fan, because the Dawn fan's knockoff or Earthquake would have put it in range of the Mega Blaziken coming in. So really unfortunate there for Tar Heel, but Kurt did what he had to do to win in week 2. He did get hammered pretty hard by Noah there week 1, but Kurt's definitely a good battler. He's won several leagues, so definitely don't count Kurt out of any battle. On to number 12, we have Phantom Base and the New York Cosmog. So week 1 he played Polar Shelf.
Yeah,
And
full shelf.
lost that one 3-0, I want to say, maybe 4-0.
I'll have a look for you.
Weevil just had a fantastic matchup that match.
Hard Weavile.
That's right, hard Weavile. That's right, that's right. And
It
then
was a 4-0 win.
4-0 win, and then he ended up beating Noah last week with the against the Mega Salamence, and then the Stall Fest on Zygarde complete with the
Joy.
Decidueye.
yeah, the Decidueye, yeah.
He brought a cool set
That would
with
have been such
Haze
a quicker game if Noah had
and
just
Spirit
brought
Shackle.
HP Ice on a Decidueye.
Yeah, definitely would have been a much quicker process there. But he did bring a cool set, like you said, Hugo.
Yeah, that was good prep.
Yeah, he did. He had good prep with the Gardevoir as well. Being able to take that return from the Mega Salamence and then blow it back with the Hyper Voice. Then the Specs Heat Train just putting in so much work as well once the Salamence was gone. I didn't have to worry about the EQ or anything like that. So Tyler's 1-1. I'm not sure who he plays. Actually, he plays. Well, no, that's APA Wi-Fi. I know he plays Kyle on APA Wi-Fi. I didn't know if you were going to say something.
What's his team name again? NYC. He plays Tar Heel.
So that should be a good one. That should definitely be a good one there. All right, so number 11, we have Banded Caterpie and the Carolina Caterpies. So we have the two-time champion here down at number 11. Able to pick up a nice victory with the Salamence week 1 against Silver, and then ended up losing in week 2 against Cloud Nimbus and the Nashville Infernape. Anybody want to talk a little bit about Bandit here?
Yeah, so his week 2 battle, he lost the game because he didn't have much for Scar Tuggy Kiss and he got flinched a few times.
Yeah, kind of story of Caterpie's life with that with the Toby Kiss. He definitely is not lucky when playing those in the APA. But good prep on his part week 1 with the Salamence being able to sweep through his team. I like his team setup a lot too with the Alolan Persian giving a parting shot out and allowing Salamence to set up a Dragon Dance. Obviously, it's such a threat here this generation with Z moves, not having to rely on moves that can miss, potentially like Fire Blast or Iron Tail, and then being able to power up moves.
And it can even use its Flying Stab.
Exactly, yeah. Supersonic Sky Strike. You can boost the Earthquake if it needs to with Tectonic Rage, or Continental Crush with Stone Edge, Inferno Overdrive with like Fire Fang and everything like that. So it's definitely a cool mon to use this generation. I had it last season. Didn't really use it well, to be completely honest, because I had so many other offensive threats. But Caterpie's definitely using it well this season. I'm not sure if it got a kill or not last week, but it definitely had potential if he got the Dragon Dance up. And
Yeah,
it's
it
definitely,
almost swept.
yeah. I mean, you definitely have to prep for it every week. Just the threat of having Moxie Mints there. So Caterpie is at number 11, and that wraps up our bottom 10. So going into the top 10 now, we have Noah and the Baltimore Haunch Crows. He is sitting at 1-1. I believe he's like at zero differential because he won against Kurt 3-0 and then lost against uh, Tyler 3-0. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think so.
So he played really well week one against Kurt, using Mega Salamence really well, just making Kurt cry, destroying his life with the Mega Salamence. And then he came to week two, and he didn't look like the Noah that I've seen battle. Really, to be completely honest.
Yeah, he lost his Azumarill real early to the Tornadoes.
Yeah, that was pretty big. That was pretty big with Azu going
Z
down.
moves. Z moves proven a nuisance because Torn usually isn't that much of an issue for an Azumarill.
Yeah, even with Sludge Wave, it should be able to eat it and then do a lot of damage back to it with Play Rough and then potentially Aqua Jet, just depending upon the set. But I don't know what it was last week. It just didn't really feel like the Noah that I've seen here and then in other leagues as well. So, Noah's definitely a huge threat. I know I've said that about a lot of battlers, but I do truly believe that, and I think you guys would agree with me, that he's definitely one of the top 5 battlers here in the APA.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So to see him this low is a little unusual.
Agree.
What'd you say, Hugo? You guys there?
Hugo's died.
I think Hugo died. Yep, he'll be back soon though. Y'all can probably hear the storm behind me too. It's thundering pretty bad here in my house. But anyways, like I said, definitely did not expect for Noah to be down this low. But he definitely has time to bounce back this season with 10 games to go. All right, so number 9 we have Cloud Nimbus and the Nashville Infernates. Joqq, why don't you take this one away?
Well, Cloud right now is currently sitting at, I can't remember, 1-1, obviously, because we're at that sort of section. I can't find him on the dock. This is bad.
Yeah, he's 1-1. He lost week 1 against General Tar Heel.
1-1 plus 1. And oh, I remember the battle with Tar Heel. Yeah, it was the absolute Mega Blaziken slugfest
It was.
um,
I do think he misplayed just a little bit in that battle though.
with the Sash Kirum clicking Roost instead of just killing the Mega Blaziken.
Exactly. Yeah, it was huge. Cloud is an amazing prepper, and his prep paid off with the Sash Curum coming through right there. I'm not sure what he was predicting or anything like that, but if he just knocked out that Blaziken there, I feel like he really would have a chance in that game. Um,
Yeah, for sure.
but it did not end up working out that way. But then Cloud's definitely proven the competitor that he is because he bounced back the next week and took out Banded Caterpie. Like I said, 2-time champion here in the APA, and so that just
It's
really
looking bleak, but he played well around that Mega Salamence that really could have done a lot of work to him.
exactly. So Cloud's definitely a very solid battler. He definitely could potentially win the championship any season. I definitely don't like it when I see Cloud on my schedule just because he preps so well and he brings such unexpected stuff too. So, um, but for now, we have Cloud down here at number 9. On the number 8, we have Dan in the Chelsea Cloisters. So week 1, he played me. Ended up losing that game 5-0, but he was able to bounce back in week 2 against Chewy and pick up a 4-0 win. Um, so week 1, he definitely did not play like the Dan that I'm used to seeing, at least, for sure.
He just didn't play well around your Jellicent, really. He never predicted you to go into Jellicent. He kept rapid spinning as you went into Jellicent rather than just drop kicking it.
Right, and he was
I think he
Scarf as well on that thing. He was Scarf with Synthesis and Rapid Spin.
Yeah, he was over prepped for Tyrantrum. I think he was very scared of Tyrantrum because Tyrantrum did blow an absolute hole through his team.
Yeah, he did end up telling me that after the battle. So I can completely understand that. But once I got my hazards up, once I got the T spikes up, I got a spike, a T spike, and a stealth rock up. It was really just hard for him to make switches, especially with his team being a little weak to rocks. So ended up hurting him there because we were able to do so much damage, and then Lucario was able to come in at the end, pick up a necessary kill, and then Sylveon could clean up from there. But he did end up bouncing back really well. He used Floridas really well in week 2 against Chewy, being able to wish pass around and being able to bring in Infernape and just really clean up Chewy's team at the end. Dan's a tremendous battler, so um, you know I, this is a little.
Yeah, he's pretty average.
I'm sure Dan's gonna love hearing that when he watches this later. So, but anyways, we'll move on now. So on to number 7, we have the Greensboro Garchomps and Coach Zebo. So Zebo hasn't been in the APA since season 3, actually, for a complete season. So this is his first season back. He actually had to postpone his match against Joqq just due to some graduation stuff, but he currently is sitting at 1-0 plus 5, leading that division that he is in. I guess I'll talk about Zebo a little bit here, just because I know what kind of battler he is. So he preps very well, and he battles very well. I believe the last match I actually played him in, I actually lost to him. So I mean, he's a good battler. My concerns about him this season is him being rusty. He, like I said, he hasn't been in the league at all since season 3 for a complete season. I know he hasn't really gotten into Sun and Moon much just because he's tried to play it and he couldn't really get into the story of Sun and Moon, which I really don't blame him for because it is such a slow game at the start of this.
And there's so many cutscenes.
Oh my god, yes. Playing that cage lock was awful. Like at 1 a.m. and stuff, having to sit through all those cutscenes. Yeah, it's really tough. But he prepped really well week 1, and ended up he could have potentially 6-0'd Bear, but he played safe. Did get the 5-0 honor though, so excited to see what he can do against Joqq in week 2. All right, so on to number 6. This may surprise some of you to see, but we have Hugo and the Montreal Monfernos. Joqq, let's talk about Hugo a little bit.
I think it was Hugo that placed himself here, and I think that was mainly because of the Kyogre demolition, plus the fact that, as we've already stated with Archer being at 20, Hugo's game against Archer was made significantly easier by Archer not prepping too well for the Mega Gengar. So it was quite a routine win for Hugo, and then to get absolutely blown out in an unlike Hugo fashion. I think you're the only person in the past that's blown out Hugo, so it's not something he's used to. I don't think he was too chuffed, and that's why he's ranked himself so lowly.
Yeah, Hugo chose his own ranking here. Basically, I probably would have ranked Hugo a little higher just because I know everybody knows what type
I
of
would have
battler.
ranked him above myself.
Well, everybody knows what type of battler that Hugo is. That's the thing. I mean, he could. Nobody likes seeing Hugo on their schedule. Hugo's prep is like no one else's. He preps so well. I mean, that's really the thing with Hugo, and I know he prepped well for silver as well as he could. Let me rephrase that. As well as he could. He just really had nothing for Kyogre on his squad. I mean, what's he gonna do? Switch into his
Keldeo was about it.
or Hydreigon or even the Rotom. He brought all of those just to try to play around the Kyogre, but Scarf Kyogre has put too much pressure.
His water resist.
Yeah, I brought all my water resists and it wasn't enough.
Oh, look, there's Hugo back.
Yeah,
but, Hugo played like Hugo week 1, just in that destruction of Archer. And obviously, who do you play week 3, Hugo?
Cloud.
Oh, so he plays Cloud. That's going to be a really good battle because two of the better preppers in the league going at it. So definitely excited to see that match. All right. So
yeah, the 2 Heat Masters facing each other.
That's right. That's right. All right. So number 5 here we have Joqq and the Dunfermline Lanoons. So like we talked about earlier with Zebo, Joqq is only 1-0 right now. He is +4. he did beat Elite Four Tom week one. Him and Zebo are currently waiting to play, so definitely going to be a good match there in that one. But how do you feel about Joqq so far this season, Hugo?
Yeah, I believe he got pretty lucky against Tom week 1.
Yeah, he definitely got some good crits in as well as that freeze there. But like I was talking about earlier, I don't think that really changed the outcome of the game too much at the end. Would you agree with that, Jock?
Well, I think from turn one, Specs Coco was always going to win the game. Like Tom had nothing for Specs Coco. Like Giratina was 2-hit KO'd. Him on top, probably O-code. Thunderous was O-code after Rocks. What else did he bring? Tapu Bulu was probably 2-hit KO'd. So I think the crits just sped the game up. I think maybe under prepped for Coco a little bit.
Yeah, I guess Tom's real win con there probably was the Gyarados getting it set up at some point, but that was a little difficult to do there against your team. Coco definitely put on a lot of pressure. And I I can't speak for what's going to happen in week two or anything like that, so that's a little harder to talk about. But you've made the playoffs for the past two seasons now that you've been in the APA, so you're definitely a threat to win it. You've advanced a step further each season, so who knows? This may be your season to make it to the championship. Um, Definitely a threat to win the championship, like I've talked about some of the others. All right,
Let's hope so.
on to number four, and this is the big surprise here, guys. Let's talk about this a little bit. We have number four here, Miticus and the Boston B Drills here on the PR at number 4 of 20. He is sitting at 2-0 right now, plus 10, plus 10.
I'd put money on this being the highest he ever is, and he goes down from now on out.
Well, I think I've seen him high on pre-draft rankings just based off the team. But in season, I know this isn't his best start. I know he started 3-1 last season, so he is 2-0 this season. But for him to be plus 10 is definitely his highest differential so far to date. And Minicus isn't a bad battler or anything like that. So let me be clear about that. He's a solid battler. I think a lot of the times early season with Miticus, he puts in the effort and then he stops trying. He gets bored, he gets busy, whatever that may be. Whatever that may be. uh, Whatever that may be, wherever he is into, I think he loses a little bit of interest. I know a couple of times last season he decided to play from his phone later in the season, just playing at work, just throwing a team together. And that's not really the thing to do if you're trying to stay competitive, trying to make playoffs, trying to win. So I know he was excited to draft Deoxyclean this season. He did go 1-11 with a back end season 4. He's already doubled the win total this season. I don't like
Getting
these
that
in
in
my
there.
division. That's right. That's right. Yeah, I did be sure to throw that out there. But how are you guys feeling about Mighticus so far?
Well, there's not much to say about other than he's had like the two biggest wins. He's used Deoxys very well, and then he got a little bit lucky week two with Tom's Registeel. Was it paralyzed 5 out of the 6 turns he attacked while being paralyzed?
Something like that. I think the two that really mattered though were on the
The Cloyster to go +2, +2. Well,
exactly.
+4 really.
Exactly, because let's break that back down a little bit. If Tom is able to get the T Wave off, it would have popped his Lum, of course, but then he would have been able to get the T Wave off, threaten it to get off again. It would have prevented it from going to +4 is the thing, and then Uxie eats. So that's really the thing you kind of got to keep in mind there.
And then you've also got the fact that 1/3 of the times he attacks, he wouldn't have attacked.
Right.
Like with the T Wave being a chance. So on paper, it would have got paralyzed. It should have got paralyzed at least once, meaning Tom could have maybe brought the differential down or even turned the game around.
Exactly, because Tom did still have some pretty big offensive threats out there, but that's the way it is. That's Pokemon sometimes, but for now, Minicus is number 4 on our power rankings. All right, so number three. This may come as a little bit of a surprise to you too to see a 1-1 team this high, but we have General Tar Heel and the Charlotte Charizards. First of all, let's go ahead and talk about this real quick. He has a much better looking logo now than he previously did
Yes, it's
with that
fantastic.
Carbink logo. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way. So good job to you, Tar Heel, for just having a better logo than previous. Can't believe you paid $25 for that mess before, man. Not even gonna lie.
Carving.
Yeah, yep. So Tar Heel week one ended up beating Cloud. We've already talked a little bit about that, and then getting super unlucky week two against Kurt with that unfortunate crit there on the Don fan, allowing Mew to come back. It went from a 4-0 win to a 1-0 loss, just like
2
that.
loss.
Was it a 2-0 loss?
Yeah, Kurt kept something in the back. I can't remember what it was.
Oh, okay. But he definitely should be 2-0 right now. So that's why we have him this high. Because he couldn't control the crit that happened, unfortunately. Um, you know,
95% of the times he wins that battle.
exactly. Is crit only 5? I thought crit was 15.
Well, it's like 6.25.
Oh gosh. Okay, so 95% of the time, I didn't know crit was that low. I thought it was 15%. Um,
No, yeah, so
that
93% of the time, Tar Heel wins that battle.
Yeah, that definitely sucks there for Tar Heel, but Tar Heel does really well with his prep. He's a really good battler too. So that is what it is there. He won't be there that 1-on-1 for long. Who does he play this week?
Tyler?
Yes.
So let's see if he can break through the gargantuan beast that is Zygarde complete.
Oh, Tyler. Oh, Tyler. I thought you said Kyle. I was like, wait, that's not right.
Oh,
Oh, but yep. So he's got Zygarde complete. So that should definitely be interesting to see how well Mega Blaziken does there in that matchup.
Zygarde complete might be the only Mega Blaziken answer.
That's right. That's right. I'm sure it does quite a bit back to it. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump into the number 2 person on our power rankings. We have the return of the king right here, the Soviet Slow King to be exact, Polish
The most
elf.
the most surprising one, in my opinion, with him being so high after the last time he was in. He was good, but not great. Average,
Right? Yeah,
missing out on playoffs.
he did. He
And
missed out on playoffs.
this season, he's came in and just crushed anyone who seems to come in front of him.
That's right. Not
He's
only
already
did he miss out on playoffs that season, he missed out on playoffs to Frostfire, which is extra insult points.
So his games were, what was it? Week 1, he played
Tyler.
Tyler. Oh yeah, and I think Hard Weavile.
Hard
Just
Weavile. That's right.
Hard Weavile. He used Weavile fantastically. I think also Tyler being so weak to Terrakion, forcing him to run the Zygarde complete as a defensive set to take on Cobalion really helped out. Elf. And then week 2, who did he play week 2?
He played
It
Archer
was
week 2.
Archer, and it was just sort of white power, really, wasn't it?
That's
Reshiram being.
That's right. Yeah, he put on. He has a really good team, honestly, with Ferrothorn, with the Reshiram, with the Weavile. Yeah, I mean, and
And
Terrakion.
a little bit of a spoiler. He's already played his week 3 match, which maybe if we'd been taking that into account, he would have been number 1 because again he had a fantastic showing against Silver.
He really did. He played really well against that Kyogre. I guess we can go ahead and talk a little bit about that. So we made these rankings before his week 3 match that he just played, literally like an hour before this. But he really took it to Silver. He set up all 3 layers of spikes. He's really using Ferrothorn well. And what I don't understand is why these people keep not bringing hazard removal against a Ferrothorn.
Or why Silver kept setting up like didn't keep setting up on the Ferrothorn, or didn't when it was setting up the hazards, or didn't switch it out. Kyogre was still his win con.
Right, like setting up a
He
sub,
could
waiting for the power whip miss, continuing to
like
set up the calm minds.
or like even just keeping it in the back because if he had killed that Ferrothorn, there's a chance Kyogre could have still won the battle if it kept itself out of range from a knockoff from Weavile. But instead, he decided to sack his Kyogre to weaken the Ferrothorn, which I'm sure if you'd said that to Polish at the start of the battle, you can trade your Ferrothorn for a Kyogre, he'd probably say okay.
Not only trade the Ferrothorn for the Kyogre, but trade the Ferrothorn plus setting up your 3 layers of spikes for the
Yeah.
Kyogre. So I mean, it ended up working out really well. But that's definitely I don't want to say Silver lost that game. Polishov won that game for sure.
Mm-hmm.
He played really well with the Terrakion again. He played really well with the Terrakion against Mad Archer as well, being able to set up with it. Archer just really caught him off guard with that Hydro Vortex. Hugo, are you still here with us?
No, I think his computer's died again.
Oh gosh. Oh well, that is what it is there. But that's where Polish Elf is. He's number 2 in our power rankings this week. All right, so
Now we have an ego boost.
yeah, we have an ego
Ego boost
boost.
in the chat.
I just want to go ahead and preempt this, guys. I did not place myself here. Hugo and Joqq placed me here, so I'm not even going to say anything here. Joqq,
I didn't place you. I was too busy playing Overwatch.
that is true. Hugo did place me though. Hugo did place me. You didn't respond.
No, but I think
Yeah, you
it's
played very well in both your games, so you deserved it, I think.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So,
it's fair enough. I think week one you really exploited Dan's weakness and were just multiple steps ahead of him the entire game. And week two, I'm pretty sure you could have given Carson 12 Pokemon and he'd still be struggling to find a way to kill your Zapdos.
yeah, Zapdos really put in a lot of work that game. I ran the Zapdos to take on the Superior because Carson's beat me with that Superior before, and to help against the Masquerain just in case it did something crazy, Quiver Dance, and helped me against Cobalion. Zapdos had just had such a good matchup against like Finny and all of that. So you know,
But you did bring Defog on Zapdos, which is vile.
but it ended up helping me out though because I was able to bring in my Zapdos more freely.
Did you have defog on Sabdos?
I did have Defog.
Did.
I had Defog, Roost, Heat Wave, and Discharge.
Discharge against
Right.
Finny, Defog on Zapdos. Maybe we shouldn't have had you in number one.
Well, I didn't
No,
think he would bring the Finny. To be honest, I did not at all think he would bring the Finny because my team matched up pretty good against it. So, you know, is what it is there. I'll definitely take the number one spot. Really nervous about my battle this week though against Elite Four Tom. He definitely has a scary team. I don't like the idea of facing Giratina and Bulu and Thundurus and
still
Volcarona.
3 setup sweepers.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
Regice.
He does have the double Reggie core. He does. Maybe I'll just bring Thunderwave though. That's all.
Trade for Cloyster.
That's right. That's right. That's what I told him I was going to do is trade for Cloyster. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed our week 2 power rankings. Like I said earlier in this video, I'm not sure how often these will be out or anything like that by any means. So definitely don't expect these every week. We don't have a power ranking here in the APA this season. Even if we did, I think it's shown that power rankings is definitely harder than expected. So me, Hugo, and Joqq will definitely have another set of these out at some point during the season, maybe week 5 or 6 or something like that. Week 4, 5, or 6, I think would be fair.
When
Just
Miticus isn't in the top 5 somehow.
I guess we'll see where he's at. Definitely interested to see who ends up where. I definitely want to see who ends up winning the championship this season. Other than yourself, let's all pick right now what the finals match will end up being. Who is there on each side? Let's pick it right now. Hugo, you go first.
I think Hugo's died again.
Hugo died. Joqq, you go first.
Sure. Gonna throw a little bit of a curveball because obviously there's myself and you on this side.
Right.
So, well, it's not a curveball. I'm gonna put you in the final. I think
Okay.
the other side's a little bit more difficult. I think you've obviously got Hugo, which is a very good shout. Polish Elf, who I probably wouldn't have given a shout to if I hadn't seen his first 3-week battles, but he's really in with a shout. But I'm going to go with Noah. I think it's going to be you versus Noah in the final.
I could definitely see that happening. Not saying me there by any means. I was actually gonna say I'm not gonna pick me, you, or Hugo just to not be biased. I'm gonna say Noah, and then I'm gonna say let's see. Also we've got Miticus, Bear, Chewy, Tyler, Kurt. I'm trying to remember these off the top of my head because I have the slides up right now. We have
It is the other one is Cloud, Tyler, Kurt, Silver, and Archer.
oh man, that's really tough there. I definitely think I think I'm gonna say this is gonna surprise you. This is gonna surprise you, but I'm gonna say Cloud v Noah finals.
Cloud v Noah.
Yeah,
Very nice.
I know it's throwing for a curveball here. I know it's throwing for a curveball, but Cloud's been close multiple seasons in the semis. He's never made the actual finals game, but he has Mewtwo, which I think honestly is probably the best Uber. I mean, sure, we've seen Mega Mewtwo Y go #1 overall. We've seen Mega Mewtwo X win the championship. The crazy thing is that you have Mewtwo, which has decent, I mean, has similar stats to both of those, but he's allowed to run an item. So that's really the thing. And then he has a really good team built around Mega around the Mewtwo as well. So I definitely think that you would probably be my pick if I wasn't picking you. And then probably Hugo. I do think it could be a you versus Hugo final very easily, very very easily. But I don't want to
That
sound
would be
biased
fun.
or anything like that. It would be very interesting to watch. Definitely interested to see how the season turns out.
It was
But
nearly a me versus Hugo final last season if I hadn't miscalced.
that's right. That's right. You're Dragon Dance Zardois. But anyways, guys, this video is long enough already. Thank you guys again for watching, and we will catch you guys in week 4 or 5.